probe, no? So I understand that the DBM secretary had already made inspection in particular areas around, I think, Central Luzon. Can we get a report, ma'am, as to what were your findings when you had gone around to look at the problems in infrastructure? Thank you.
For the flood control projects, I've already handed the list of all flood control projects under the General Appropriations Act 2025 to Secretary Manny Bonoan. And I know that the team has already been formed together as headed. It is headed by the Department of DepDev by Sec RC Balisacan. I know that they have already formed the team to check the status of each and every project in the General Appropriations Act 2025.
No, the question is very specific. The DBM secretary had actually gone around.
Yes, I went to a couple of areas, Madam Chair.
Areas, so I think the question for the good secretary is what were the findings that you had seen, particularly in the process by which these projects had been implemented and the actual implementation of these particular projects?
Well, first, there are projects that are not supposed to be allocated on in certain areas. Ibig sabihin po, meron pong mga pondo. For example po, I went to Pampanga 3 weeks ago, and luckily I was able to meet with the municipal mayor, si Mayor Titanco from Apalit, and that upon checking the budget provided for in the municipality, there are funding that is not actually, may mga funds po na nakalagay sa isang lugar na hindi na po kinakailangan. At yung may kailangan po na funding, wala pong nakakorespond na budget for that. Secondly, I also went to Arayat, and then I saw how the project, the flood control project was poorly implemented in the area. They're supposed to construct a, what do you call this? A sheet pile, a flood control project. But when the water from the Pampanga River, nung tumaas po yung tubig sa Pampanga River, na nahulog po yung flood control project. So na-wash out po yung area kung saan may mga residents doon sa area po. So siguro ang realization also po, ang key takeaway is that kailangan po ng proper planning from the departments and close coordination po with the local government units in the identification of projects, not only flood control, but all the projects po, specifically under the Department of Public Works and Highways, Madam Chair.
Thank you for the response. I'd like to talk about the first part that you mentioned relating to project identification. Do you have information on whether or not these are NEP-originated projects, or are these congressional initiative-originated projects? Madam Chair.
Admittedly, Madam Chair, we haven't checked po if it is NEP or an amendment to the 2025 national budget. But we'll double check, Madam Chair, and provide the update to the committee, Madam Chair.
I mentioned already that poor planning is a particular concern, and I think that is a well-taken point. And is it correct to say that when you speak about NEP-originated projects versus congressional initiative-originated projects, the concern of the Public Works Department had been that the NEP-originated projects already have actual feasibility studies versus congressional initiative-originated projects that might not have feasibility already undertaken feasibility studies. Is that a correct observation?
Yes, Madam Chair. we confirm that those projects that are included in the National Expenditure Programs had gone through proper planning by respective departments and agencies with corresponding validation and feasibility studies, detailed engineering design from the implementing agencies, Madam Chair.
Thank you for the response. But irrespective of whether or not there exists an actual feasibility study, what is the check of the executive to make sure that no infrastructure project is actually implemented absent any detailed feasibility or detailed engineering studies?
If I may cite an example, at least I can speak for the 2025 national budget. There's a provision, there's a veto message, and then a section there states that all amendments from National Expenditure Program to the General Appropriations Act will only be released through the issuance of SARO. So with this, the budget will only be released upon submission of the departments and agencies when they're ready to request such projects and programs.
And the presumption of the request is what? The existence of an actual study?
Yes, the assumption is that they've already validated and they've already prepared the feasibility studies of these projects.
Thank you for the response. So, unless and until you have feasibility studies, whether it's an NEP or an amendment, as you call it, there will be no implementation. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Is it correct to say that this is being undertaken since 2020
It
to
will
date?
pass by. Sorry, it will also go through the approval. It will require the approval of the Office of the President.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
of course. But of course, the question is this a mechanism that is being undertaken since 2022 to date? This approvals and implementation process of infrastructure project implementation.
Chair, two special budget requests.
Okay. I wanted to go back to what you mentioned, that there are particular unnecessary projects that you have mentioned. How can you say, Madam Chair, that these are actually unnecessary? Is there a standard by which we can actually make a determination on whether or not a particular flood control project is in fact unnecessary?
Cannot answer unilaterally, Madam Chair. We will just have to wait for the results of the evaluation of the DPWH together with DepDev, and I think the Commission on Audit is also part of the team.
Yes, I understand the response, but of course, initially, that is the finding of the Good Budget Secretary as when you made the inspection. Is that correct?
This is just one site, Madam Chair. I cannot answer for the entire 350 billion.
No, I mean just the particular sites that you had seen.
At least for those that for those I see.
The initial finding is these particular projects.
Yes, because
might
it came from the local government unit
be
itself.
unnecessary. Is that correct?
Yes, it came from the local government executive.
These projects might in fact be unnecessary. And the reason for this is what? Again,
Ayos
if
na
you
daw
recall,
po yung daan dun sa lugar na yon, hindi na daw po kailangan lagyan ng funding.
sorry, can you repeat the response?
Maayos po yung daan. Hindi po kinakailangan maglagay ng pondo doon sa daan.
Kalsada po ito.
Kalsada po ito.
Hindi ito flood control
Hindi
project.
po, hindi po.
Okay.
Kalsada po.
Okay, so that's one aspect of the review that we're undertaking. The second aspect is actually project implementation. I think you are correct that there are the particular agency that we are mentioning, they're not here today, but I think even with what the President had seen, what we are seeing would be inspections that had in fact been greenlit as complete, but in fact substandard or incomplete. No? So what is the commitment of the administration? Basically, it's a question to DepDev at this point. No? Last na lang po, Madam Chair. Are we prepared to undertake the executive-led infrastructure probe, and what would be the parameters by which and the methodology by which we will undertake the infrastructure probe po.
Madam Chair, if I may respond. Yes, we will, as instructed, we will do an inspection of all the flood control projects from 2022, the completed flood control projects from 2022 to 2025. But the first but we will prioritize initially the big ones, relatively big ones like 80 million pesos and above, and those that have seen some floods one way or the other during this period. But over time, we'll cover all of these 9,000 plus projects. And the exercise is quite simple. We'll check if one, the project exists, the so-called completed project actually exists, and if it exists, we ask if it is operational, and we say operational. Is it fully operational? Is there a mild damage? Is there a severe damage, or it's not non-operational? And the third set of questions would be have something to do with the effectiveness of the project in addressing the or in meeting the objective. It's in this particular case to prevent flooding. So it's quite a straightforward exercise. It's not meant to determine whether a certain party is guilty or not. It's meant just to provide a kind of a smoking gun so that our implementing agencies would have the jurisdiction to investigate, to do their work, whether it is COA or Ombudsman or Department of Justice. They can take it from there. So we are doing a more or less simultaneous visits to all these sites. We have already done preliminary pilot testing of these instruments that we'll be using, and hopefully we can make reports to the President in due time.
Right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Representative Ridon. Next interpolate from the majority, Representative Jervil Luisio.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My first question is addressed to Secretary Balisacan. Sec, may we know the direction of the national government with respect to the land use and classification? We recognize, of course, the significance of various industries. This includes energy, agriculture, real estate development, even mining. However, Secretary, we are witnesses now of the various catastrophes which are either caused by or aggravated by, should I say, inappropriate use of land. So may we be enlightened, Secretary Balisacan, Madam Chair, what is the direction of the national government with respect to land use and classification?
Our office and the former NEDA has been pushing for a national land use for I don't know how many years now, a couple of decades. And we are coming back to you again for the 20th Congress. Hopefully we will be successful this time to ask for an enactment of a national land use, because the absence of a national land use is creating all kinds of problems, not just our inability to construct proper infrastructure and our inability to protect our agricultural lands from all these highly valuable